Hello all you wonderful people. In this video I'll be covering mods that will be coming soon to console in Baldur's Gate 3's patch 7 mod manager. Now, I've been talking to a bunch of mod creators as well as doing a bunch of digging and research myself to find out what mods will soon be coming to the in-game mod manager, as there's 69 nice mods that are added to the game so far. And people aren't the happiest about the selection, so I want to make this video to talk about what we have available on PC, going through all the different types of mods here that will likely be coming, and I'll talk about what ones won't come to consoles. But yeah, typically it seems like most of them that have controller support will likely come, and a good number of classes, although there are some class mods that don't have things that I don't think will make its way to console, but we'll be covering all of that in this video. And I'll start off with the classes mod, as this is one of the most popular. As you know, we already got the Mystic class, which dispelled a lot of rumors, because you can see here a bunch of external assets that are now in Baldur's Gate 3 on PlayStation 5, because a lot of people were saying that PlayStation wasn't going to get that, but the Mystic and the Mystic expansion really opened doors for a lot more to come, because these are all external assets. People were, I was not even sure PlayStation would be allowed to get these, although there are some games like the WWE games, Doom, as well as the Ark Ascended game that had external mods. So PlayStation 5 users, no worries there. But I do think we're going to see some more classes. The Blood Mage being one that I think will come eventually. So this is one I'm not too sure if the creator has put forward to have this in the in-game mod manager. I'm not a huge fan of the Blood Mage, but I do really like the Blood Sorcerer, which we'll get to, which I think is a much better version of that class. So I think that that will eventually make its way to console as well. Another one that a lot of people are waiting on is the Artificer. So this is a homebrew class. It's got 4 unique subclasses. I've done builds on these already. This is a really great class that comes with a lot of unique enhancements and its own way of going about things. So I do think that this will end up making its way to the in-game mod manager at some point. Someone's got to make it. This is a class that's in Dungeons and Dragons itself, so it's very likely to come. It has those 4 unique subclasses. You can summon in like a something like Bernard, using assets that are in the game, but its own unique assets as well. I think that this one will likely come hopefully soon. Haven't heard any word on this one, but I have heard about some others like the Witch class. They're sometimes in the comments of these videos. The creator here, Nuto123, did an incredible job with the Witch class. I really like this one, coming with 4 different subclasses. And it's balanced as well. Like, it's not too challenging. You got different wild shape forms in it, so you can turn to a cat, a raven, a panther. And depending on what type of subclass you pick, there's a bunch of different benefits. So there's a Frost Witch, a Hex Witch, a Spell or a Witch Blade, I forget what the name of that is, and the Herbalist. So we got the Herbalist, Frost Witch, Hex Witch, and Witch Blade. Yeah, so those 4 subclasses. This one will be coming to the mod manager as well. So for console, very soon we'll see that come to fruition. So this one is incredible. I also have a feeling that we'll see the Spellblade. I was getting a lot of questions around the Spellblade and if we're going to get this one. I do think this will eventually come, because it is just someone's going to make this and bring it into the game, because it's just a wizard subclass. Very likely that it will come eventually. As well, the Mindweaver class. This is one that I've done builds on in the past as well. It has 4 different subclasses. Tons of cool spells, mostly focused around psychic, but also ice damage. There needs to be more psychic damage classes in the game, so this one is an incredible one for that. I have a good feeling we're going to see this at some point. It doesn't have all of them shown here, but yeah, like there's the Psionic Warden, the Force Blade, the Astral Seer, and then the Void Reaver. So 4 unique subclasses. They all come with a bunch of unique like spells and stuff. Like some of them are psychic and ice versions of spells. You got like a magic missile that deals cold damage, some psychic fireballs. It's a really cool class. I can't get enough of this. It is a little bit overpowered, but again, Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager comes with some difficulty mods to make this game more challenging. So I don't think this one will come to console, just being fully honest with you guys. Grumpy Wumpy did an incredible job with the Demon Hunter. 2 subclasses, and is based on the World of Warcraft Demon Hunter, and that's why I don't think this will come to console, because it's using World of Warcraft assets. A lot of the spell icons are from World of Warcraft, so I don't think this will end up making its way, but I could be wrong. I'd love to see it, but again, it is using assets from other games, so I don't think that that's going to pass the test. However, everything else I've touched on will be fine, I think. The Succuban Sorcerer, I think this one will potentially make its way over as well. Some of these are just made by mod.io users, so I don't know who they are. Some people do leave comments in my videos saying they're the mod creators for some of these. So I do hope that eventually we will start to see these rolling through. I also think the more roleplay options class and deity selection will come. So being able to choose a deity for any class, just so that you get the unique dialogue options that clerics get. I think this would be cool. It opens things up for more role-playing, and that's always a good thing in my books, so I have a good feeling we're going to see that come eventually. Tasha's Feats also have a feeling that this will come to console too, just giving us a bunch of different ones that are actually in different books of Dungeons & Dragons, so stuff that'll align well with this game and give you a whole bunch of new ways to play through. Arcane Vanguard, I do think this one will come eventually. It's got 4 different subclasses here, the Eldritch Vanguard, Judgment, Sentinel, and Arcane, so really cool. Come with different fighting styles that you don't normally see. You can cast spells, you can get the war magic from the Eldritch Knight, you get arcane transposition, a bunch of different options. This one is really well done, and I do think we'll see this in the in-game mod manager eventually. Dread Overlord. Now this is one that I've been thinking about. So people were talking about this, and I have a feeling this will eventually come. You can summon in like a bone dragon. You can summon in this giant skeleton here. You can summon in a warlock, a wrath. So there's a warlock. It's basically a necromancer, but with much better benefits. Like this can cast Scorching Ray as a summon, which is incredible. Yeah, it looks cool. There's scythes with this. I do feel like this will eventually come to console. It does have a bunch of different icons for spells, but it seems to be mostly recolors. So you can see here all the patch notes. Yeah, it's got its own. It says it's got its own quest line here. I haven't seen that myself, but yeah, it's got a lot going for it. I think that that's really cool. So this one's got so many, like, look at all the patch notes. This goes on and on and on. I think that this will eventually get added to console. Maybe not right away because it is very complex. And I know they have to test these before they can get released. So, yeah, I have a feeling we'll see that. Dragon Knight, I have played out this. It does cause some issues with my game. So, yeah, I had to uninstall this one. But potentially, if they get the bugs fixed on this one, I think we'll see this eventually come to console. But it caused me some bugs, so that's a big thing. For console, they can't have any bugs in the game. Godslayer here next. This is another one that's interesting. Kind of overpowered in certain senses, but it's a fun one. And it adds your strength and constitution modifier to your armor class, so you're basically like a barbarian, but stronger. It's a fun one, and I feel like this and like the Blood King, another one that's very similar in terms like they're strong, and I have a good feeling that they'll both make their way to the in-game mod manager probably sooner rather than later, since they're not too complex. Another one that I think will be the 5e rogue subclasses, whether it's this one by Miscellanea or by other creators. This adds the pirate subclass as well as the soul knife, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to playing as, but we'll have to see. I think in a lot of capacities we're going to get multiple rogue subclasses because there's been many already released. I'll get into subclasses eventually here, but the priest, I don't think this one will come, unfortunately. This is one that I do feel like it does use assets from World of Warcraft, so I think similar to the Demon Hunter, this one won't get allowed, but I could be wrong with that. Another class that I think we will see is the Scrounger here, which I previously have done a build on. What's cool is you can turn into this like Bile Titan character. It's cool. I do have a feeling that we're going to see this eventually because it's a homebrewed class. It's got some interesting assets in it that are modifications of stuff that we see in the game. You got the ability to create, fabricate different items like grenades and stuff. It's a really cool one, and I do have a feeling that we're going to see something like this, or we're going to see this one get added. So you can see here, you got different fabrications that you can create different weapons, like a maul, capsules, different ammo for bows and stuff. We'll probably see this one eventually because this is probably one of the first that we'll maybe see, because some of these mods were added to the mod manager relatively soon after the mod manager got launched. I think those will be the first that come along. Mystic Blade I could potentially see, a mix of monk and fighter, is a fun one I tried out, and you add like your monk attacks to weapons and stuff. Crypt Stalker Ranger, this is funny, some of these I've used, these are AI generated icons, but this is like a ranger subclass that's mixed with a bit of like necromancer. You got like undead summons. Yeah, I think this one will potentially come because there's a lot of subclass mods. Shinobi subclass for the rogue will also likely come. There's updates to things like the Spore Druid that makes them more powerful that I also think will likely come. Devil May Cry mod class, I've tried this. I don't think this will come, unfortunately, because Again, things that aren't assets in Baldur's Gate 3, but there's lots of mods that adds feats on every level. Those will all likely come to console because more feats doesn't really break the game. It makes your character very strong, but it's not going to impact like performance or anything, which I think will make it allowed. We also have things that add like feats to every level for the modded subclasses. This Dragon Knight, I'm also not sure on. This one also, I was trying to show this class off before, and I've had crashes and bugs, so it's questionable. It's very questionable. I have used it, I've leveled it up, but I've also had it crash on me. So depending on your choices, they have to get tested. So the Phoenix Bearer being another one that I feel like will eventually make its way to the console, because this is another cool subclass that doesn't use anything external. So obviously there's different changes. The Oakheart Sentinel, I was speaking with the creator of this, Nightly ST. There's sometimes in my YouTube comments. This mod is incredible, I just want to say. Very well done mod. It's basically like if you took a druid, made them a melee class with an extra attack, gave them a ranger summon, and then also gave them all those awesome spells that druids get, like Conjure Woodland Being and the minor major elementals, even things like Cone of Cold. It's really well done. I love this class. It's fun. Highly recommended. It only has 3,000 downloads. I want to see more people download this one. It's good. Go try it out. I can't say enough good things about this one. And it feels right. Like, you use Shillelagh or Shillelagh. You also get the Ranger's Companion is nice. It's really, really well done with 3 different subclasses. This one deserves more love. Guys, go check it out. It's really well done. We also have some other classes here. Like, I tried this one out. I don't know if this will come. Maybe it'll come. I just feel like it was a bit buggy for me, but hopefully. College of Dance Bard. This is getting into the subclasses. I feel like this will come. I did do a video on top 15 subclasses that are in the mod manager, and I think that all the mod manager ones that I've covered for subclasses will likely come. I guess I'll go into subclasses now because that's what a lot of people want to see. Celestial Warlock. This one's already in it. This is one of the first that was uploaded. You can see it's back in July. As well as the Remembrance Warlock. These have a lot of downloads because they were some of the first that got sent to the mod manager, so that's why they're in the game. I don't, as I mentioned, don't think the Demon Hunter. I am waiting for the Witch. That has been, that I was talking to the creator and they put through this to get approved for Baldur's Gate 3, so very likely we'll see that. One that a lot of people are asking was the Hexblade. I think this one will make its way because it's just a modification of the Warlock itself. They have their Hexblade curse instead of the Hex that you normally get. And then there's a bunch of different benefits here that are like the Eldritch Invocations. They're not too overpowered, but it adds them to all other Warlock subclasses, so that's really cool as well. Just gives you a whole new flair for when you're playing through the game. You can even do like Eldritch Spear, which increases the range of your Eldritch Blast, which is incredible. So yeah, this one's really nice. The Blood Sorcerer, this is what I was talking about. This is an incredible one. I think this one will also come. It has some unique icons for its spells. I guess the ability to heal yourself with necrotic damage, similar to the Necromancer Wizard. You also get a bunch of spells here. Here's the whole spell list, so you get yourself like a level 1 spell, 2 level 2, 2 level 3, 1 level 4, 1 level 5, and 1 level 6 spell, and then 3 cantrips as well. You basically, with this class, you want to be inflicting bleed on targets, so whenever you have the bleed inflicted, you take less damage, because these spells will hurt you as well, but they're very strong. This class is actually crazy, because if you make blood pools, you can pull enemies down into them. I think this one will likely come. It's great. We also got, I mentioned Blood King. Nightingale is another one. This is a rogue subclass. I think likely will come soon, because this one was added pretty recently. It was first uploaded back in June. So yeah, I do think we're going to see that one eventually. Horizon Walker, I think this will likely come too. I did a build guide on it recently. You have options of flying around the battlefield with this one. Oath of Conquest, so Halves Glimpse made these mods here, and I believe that this will likely come. They also made the Circle of Stars Druid, which I'll get to in a second. I think both of these will come because they're 5e subclasses, so they just didn't make it into Baldur's Gate 3. Similar to the Path of the Giant, so the Giant Barbarian here. I think this one will make it in. A lot of the 5e subclasses will likely make it, even like the Swashbuckler Rogue. So this is another one it is a 5e class. So if you play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, you'll have these. Same as the College of Dance, so I touched on this one briefly. This mod here with all Bard subclasses, so Dance, Eloquence, Glamour, and Friendship. Friendship being like a Necromancer version of it. Very cool. The Accursed. We'll see if this one comes. This has 3 different subclasses here, Possessed, Damned, and Corrupted, which is cool. Unique class, kind of like a homebrewed one, so very fun. Marauder, this is like an overpowered rogue. I think this will likely come as well. There's also some other enhancements to other subclasses, like the Eldritch Knight. Shadow Sorcerer, I feel like this will eventually come. I did try it out, but I had some issues with it. With some of these, they do need to get fixes, like the Blood Archer. I had issues with this one, so I have pretty good PC specs for my PC, and I was having issues, so I can imagine consoles will have some issues as well. Circle of the Stars Druid, so this has your star form and a bunch of different spells here that you can get. I love this one. It's really fun to play as. So, yeah, it's also made by Halfsglim. They made a bunch on Nexus mods that are slowly making their way over to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. So shouts out to Halfsglim for doing this for us. Really great job. This one will likely come soon. This was first uploaded back in July. This makes it so that you can choose the Oathbreaker Paladin just from the get-go. So instead of having to break your oath, you can just pick it. Now, there are some other changes in other minor subclasses. Apex Predator, Hunter subclass, I feel like that'll come. The Slayer Redux, this one's pretty fun too. I like this subclass. It's like a version that kind of combines the Rogue and the Hunter Ranger together. Makes it very powerful. So yeah, that's what I think is going to come for subclasses. Now, getting into the race mods. The playable Kuo-toa being the most popular one. This has some issues that I've had with it, and it got approved, so that opens the floodgates for many more. Faces Unlocked. This was previously approved for console from what I've seen, but it got taken away for some reason. But I feel like this will come back eventually. Just basically lets you pick any character's face that you see in the game. So you can see there's like Voss's face there, Vlaakith's face, and you can apply it to any character. So that's really nice. Gives you a lot more role-playing ability. Now, as for the races, I guess getting into it, Astral Elves. This is an easy, simple recolor. It does replace the Drow, so that is one little issue with it. Or no, the Shadar Kai replaces the Drow. But yeah, always possible just uninstall these mods if they cause you issues. Archdevil, I feel like, will come. This is using in-game assets, so pretty likely, honestly. Elemental Power Genasi. This is also another one that I think will come. Pretty cool. I like the water one because you can create water in a huge area. But there's 4 distinct sub-races for this one. I think it'll come next to the Baldur's Gate 3 mod manager. Here's the one I was talking about, Shadar Kai. This does end up replacing the Drow. But it basically functions similar to it with some different benefits. It's a fun one, but I like my Drow. Diva Race. This is one that I really enjoy. 2 different body types here that you can see. You can put clothing on them. It just basically has wings, and it's like almost like a human elf kind of character. I'm very likely, this and the Aasimar, which is right here, these 2 mods are really well done. This one you can actually make your character look like Dame Aelin too, so that's pretty cool if we look at them. One of them gives you literally the first appearance that you get is like Dame Aelin, so they get a bunch of extra benefits. They are overpowered, however, that's how it should be almost, but there's also some other ones that aren't as powered. Cat-She Race, I had issues with this one myself personally. It does come with an assassin class as well. Hawk from Dragon Age 2, I don't think this one will come. As cool as that is, I just don't think that will come. There's a bunch of mods that will fix the Dragonboard, actually make them good, because as you guys know, if you played through and played a Dragonboard, they're probably one of the weaker races in the game. They just don't have the same benefits of other ones. Now, Owlin. This is a very cool mod by hornbird.mod. They did an incredible job. This actually makes owl birds, and they look so cool. With heavy armor, they look incredible. Yeah, they have their wings. You can change the color. 4 different colors. You can choose like male, female. Yeah, you can see there. This looks really funny. If you want to play as a giant owl, this is the way to do it, guys. Sicko mode. Ow, I side-eyed too hard. Yeah, this one's really well done. I think this is my favorite mod that I've seen so far. Owlin Race is just incredible. So, yeah, go check that one out if you got it. Ulithrid allows you to play as a Mind Flare. This is, again, in-game assets. There's a purple cloak if you play as a female one, so I don't know if it'll show. No, it doesn't show it in this. But, yeah, that one's pretty cool to see. Archfey allows you to play as a few different characters here. A Green Lord, the Hag, and a Pixie. So this is like a larger version of Dolly Trace. Does have some issues with holding weapons, but I mean, they did a really good job. And you can also get like Woodland Being with these, so nice spells. Some of them are overpowered. We got the Giga Chad Dragonborn here. Phil Borg, the creator of this, has commented on my videos before. They did a great job with this one. If you want to play something a little bit different, be mindful. They do have a little bit of facial hair on there whenever you load into them. So nature-loving characters, and they're a bit beardy, as they said. Playable Knoll. I know everyone's been asking for this. It's likely to come to console because we all deserve a Treato, and this one is an in-game asset, so very likely we'll see it. There's also other ones that have that as well. Geth overhaul, like there's a lot of ones that overhaul different races. We got ourselves the cat bugs here, which are like short. We have cat ears and bug wings. Some people like that. I've had comments talking about that before. But there's even like Dragonborn buff means. There are mods. There's so many ones that buff up the Dragonborn. So love to see that happen because this definitely needs it. Now for spells, it's kind of sparse at the moment. We don't have a whole lot, but there's like the spell editions here, which will add extra spells to the different classes. Underwear Rituals, which is already on console. This gives you basically spells that are in the game. People are really wondering about the 5e spells. This is a really well done mod. It adds a bunch of different cantrips and spells that are in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, like Green Flame Blade, Booming Blade, Thunderclap, Lightning Lure, Sapping Sting, Frostbite, and many more are coming. They have a ton of different spells, different cantrips, etc. So I feel like the full 5e mod from Nexus mods will likely come in one way or another. Now, there's a lot of different classes listed under spells that aren't actually spells, but there's some that'll like make Eldritch Blast more powerful, or make cantrips allow you to do an extra attack. I feel like those will also come to consoles, so we'll have to just wait and see, but I'm very hopeful that they'll come. And even things like the Misty Step Plus gives like full, big boost to your stats there, and then you can use Misty Step outside of combat and use it as a bonus to action unlimited amount of times. So there's going to be a lot of cheat ones, which I think this is a good segue because there's not a lot of new spells. Like there's just a few here. There's even like the right click kill. I know a lot of people really like that mod, but looking into cheat mods, adjustable party limit, increased experience, making everything have no weight, giving Karlach improved fireproofing. This is already available on console. A lot of these will make it its way. The Cheater's Ring, this is one that I think a lot of people adds plus 20 to all dice rolls. Adds 500 damage to all attacks. Always criticals, never critical fail. Become immune to all damage. Set all ability scores to 200. So yeah, a lot of people look forward to that because I've gotten so many comments asking about cheat mods. They're coming, and they're definitely coming soon. Esther's Brilliant Acquisition. So basically this gives you pretty much any item from Esther. So yeah, that's great. And just makes things a little easier if you want to build out a bod or build out your class, because like you can get yourself like the Moon Devotion robe. This is all like the rare items, like the ones Potent robe, which you miss if you're playing as an evil character, or the Dirge, and also has like the Deathstalker Mantle Cloak. Lots of stuff there that you may not potentially get in a playthrough. So very nice. Katana Mega Pack just recolors the katanas. I feel like these will come eventually. We're seeing things that aren't fully cheats here, but a lot of these just make you stronger. I guess the Cheater's Ring being probably the most impactful of the ones here. There's also some cool things like Armor Paladin, this is already in the game. That's the Armor Persistence from Damon. Poke Flask, I don't know if that'll come, but it's basically like a Pokeball. It's a flask that allows you to release little creatures out of them. That's pretty funny. But yeah, we got Ring of 99 Plus. We got Rogue Extra Attack. Some of these are cheats, but not like broken cheats. They just balance the game a little bit differently. I feel like a lot of these will come. Like I don't think there's any cheats that won't come to console. Dice skins, I don't need to talk about this because most of the ones are already on console. Available on console. Available on console. Available on console. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these are, and if they're not, this one's very likely going to come soon. So I am a big fan of the Underdark dice. Even the Bane dice look pretty cool. But there's not too many dice mods, but all of them are likely to come. So we even got Willem Dafoe to fish. Equipment mods, unfortunately not too many yet. Some camp clothing mods, which are nice. Like I like the different choice that we can get here. I'm a big fan of camp clothing because you can see that in cutscenes. Diable Nails, I was pretty sure that this one was available for console at one point, but it got removed, so maybe it'll see its way to there eventually. Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, this is a fun one, giving you like Mjolnir, very powerful hammer, and Stormbreaker axe. These are cool. If you're a fan of Marvel, you'll love this. There's also a bunch of different Slayer equipment so that you can get your character. They look cool. Some of these are different ones that are like in-game armor that's just slightly modified. Now, things like Tifa's Bunny Bustier, I don't think this will come to console, unfortunately, for obvious reasons. PlayStation and Final Fantasy are very tight. So I don't see that ever being a thing, unfortunately. But there's a lot of different armor that eventually will make its way, and more people are starting to make them. Like we already got ourselves these guns. So gun mods are making their way in. So yeah, there's some pretty high, there's a lot that I can see happening in console. So I'm also a big fan of the Dragon Slayer blade here, which if you're a fan of Elden Ring, you'll know it as the giant, or the great sword. If you're a fan of Berserk, you'll know exactly what that is. So yeah, the little arrow there on screen, kind of funny. Mana Flare, I feel like this will eventually come. This is a cool mod that just gives you like fire for your hands to attack with. Really any type of elemental. I guess I'd see if I can find one. There's 3 mods for this that really impacted. You need to have all 3 of them if you want to use it. I can't find it there, but Mana Flare is a cool one. I guess I'll just search it up here because this is a really fun mod. Yeah, there we go. So basically makes it so you can hold like glowing attacks. This is stuff that's in the game already, so I feel like this will come. But as far as that, I think that covers everything. Classes, spells, races, cheats, visual effects. It's hard to say because there's things that like normal half-a-lithid. I love this one. That's already available on console. Removing Volo's eye, definitely coming. Wings unlocked, which makes the wings a choice that you can put on your character, which is pretty cool. So you can give like Gale your wings or whoever you want to add wings to. Facial animations, I'm not sure if this will come. I really wanted to, but it just makes characters' faces move. You'll see it in a lot of my videos whenever I go up close with characters. This is an incredible mod, probably my favorite of these. So yeah, we'll see what else comes, but I think I covered pretty much everything there. Well, let me know if you have any questions or anything that you want to know if it might come to console. I got a pretty good read on this, got my ear to the ground. So yeah, let me know your favorite mod that you've used so far in Baldur's Gate 3. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.